Writer's Anointing Show. I'm Dr. Jewel Williams, owner of Tri Production Publishing. And today's tip, who are they, friend or foe? We're talking about the life of the storyteller. I want to welcome you again to today's episode. So this month, for the month of June, I'm going to be talking to you about the life of the storyteller. And so today's tip is, who are they, friend or foe? So let me just jump right into my tips. The first point I want to give you when I'm talking about the storyteller, first I want to tell you that, many of you as kids, we grew up listening to the storytellers or people that would come and read the stories to us. And so we only often think of the storyteller as someone who is reading out loud or speaking, is doing it just by way of their voice. But I want to tell you, as a writer, you are also a storyteller. And so the difference is you don't have props or you can't bring in other things, but you learn how to paint the picture so your listeners can find and experience the story the way that you want them to. So let me give you my first point. Have an enemy and a hero. Have an enemy and a hero. Stories need a little good and a little bad. In writing, however, you can't just write, John is the bad guy. You have to write things about their character or actions that would make your reader not like John. Is he sneaky? Does he do things behind his friend's back? Does he say one thing, but then we see him do things differently than what he said? Is he a liar? What things would make John stand out as kind of the enemy or the bad guy in the story? And you have to give your readers the details so they can understand why John is either the bad guy or the good guy, or the hero or the enemy in your story. So do you have an enemy or a hero? The second point about being a storyteller when we're asking who are they is you got to use conflict. To be honest, where in life can you go where there is no conflict? There's no place that I know. Therefore, we must remember that conflict in our stories help to provide the reader the reason why someone is good, or why they're the good guy, or why they're the bad person in the story. And then it puts your characters in situation to allow the reader to see how they will get out of it. So try not to make the way so obvious, but you still want to give them something that they work through. And then the third point is stay consistent. One tip I have is to write a short bio of each of your characters, who they are, give some details about their background. Where do you want them to come from? Tell some, do they have brothers? Do they have sisters? So write a little bio about your character. Now, let me tell you why this is important. Well, if you don't want to start off by writing as though John lives in Chicago, for example, in one sentence, and then somewhere in your story you start talking about John as though he's from Texas. What can happen is you can confuse your readers, and I've seen this happen where people forget some of the details that they've started out with their character, so they don't stay consistent. So you just want to make sure you stay consistent. So these are my 3 tips for today as we're talking about the life of the storyteller. And today's episode is, who are they, friend or foe? So just remember, do you have an enemy? Do you have a hero? Tell us something. So you don't want your characters to be flat. You want them to have dimension. So part of that is make sure that you bring conflict into their story. But then also stay consistent with your character. If you're writing certain things about the details of the character, make sure you're staying consistent with that. So do you need help writing your book? Not sure where to start? I would love to help you from the concept to the completion of your project. You can go to my website, publishthevision.com. That's publishthevision.com to see what I offer by way of coaching. And until next time, what do I always say? Let's write it. God bless.